I want to actually take one call before we do that, because supposedly, stop the presses. We've got a caller who's got really good information.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is.
So is it Kevin?
No, it's Bill.
Oh, I got.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. How you doing, Bill?
Doing well.
You have proof
to point out a couple of.
You have proof of creation, I hear.
Yeah, well, the proof that I would like to point out is that creation is pretty obvious through the science.
Your proof is that creation is obvious.
Yeah, creation is pretty obvious.
How so?
Accept your promise.
Well, the science that you guys use to disprove creation is the actual science that proves creation.
Boy, you're not making much sense.
Well, that makes perfect sense. You just don't want to accept that. Okay, now the fact is that we have things like transitional forms that don't exist in the fossil record.
That's a lie.
What do you mean that's a lie?
There are transitional forms in the fossil record.
There must be like a whole bunch of them that we're all familiar with and very common, right? Or do you have like one or two that you'd like to point out? And the other thing
you should go to talkorigins.org. There's a complete list of transitional forms. But the point isn't how many we have. I mean, first of all, it's amazing that we have any to begin with, because creating a fossil is a very difficult thing. But you said that you had proof of creation, and so far the only thing you've said to prove creation is A, it's obvious, and B, the disproofs of creation, which, by the way, that's not science anyway, is evidence. You need to actually, what is your proof?
All right, let me make it clear, since you want to make it difficult.
I'm trying to make it clear.
Okay, the clear thing is that the loyalty that you guys have to Charles Darwin's theory.
I have no loyalty to Charles Darwin or his theory.
Okay, then if you didn't, then you wouldn't be trying to back up that theory.
No.
Wait a second. First of all, I just like to point out, evolution is not atheism. You can be an atheist and not accept evolution. So I don't even understand what you're saying.
Okay, so
you
can't be
Christian.
an atheist and accept creation. Is that it?
Well, there are Raelians, and they do.
Okay, so there's I guess there's one group of atheists who
there
believe
are plenty
in
of
creation.
Christians who also accept. There are also plenty of Christians who accept evolution.
I'm saying that evolution is a non-factor in atheism or Christianity.
I disagree with you.
But there are many Christians who would disagree with you, because there are many Christians who believe in evolution. To me, it's a non-factor. Even if you found evidence, if we found evidence tomorrow, if we found a trademark stamp in the core of the earth, that would not prove that a God created it. So therefore, creationism...
No, wait, you missed the point right there. You said God created it. Like there was a specific God, and you would like that God to be the God of Christianity, so you can continue bashing that God.
I don't care what God it is. I'm simply saying that if there was a type of creationism, if we found out that everything was created, that doesn't prove that it was created by any kind of God. Therefore, atheism and creationism and evolution have nothing. They're not interrelated. You
totally lost me. If everything was created, that would have to be created by something, right?
Right, but it doesn't have to be a God. Is my point.
Well, I personally believe it's the God of the Jews, but. We can go ahead and say that it would be what we as humans call a God.
It wouldn't
Not
have
necessarily.
To be.
Well, if it's that powerful, I'll call it a God.
No, because for example, there's this idea of directed panspermia, where life evolved somewhere else in the galaxy and then was seeded here. Now, I don't happen to buy into this at all, but it is an idea which would allow for life to have been created or formed here through a non-evolutionary process. But it doesn't require a God.
I'd also like to point out that even if evolution was proven false tomorrow, that doesn't prove creationism.
Right. You still haven't offered anything that's proof of creationism or anything that proves that your idea that the Jewish God is also responsible for that creation.
Well, it's because you didn't let me.
Well, I've asked you just to try and be clear. If you have proof of something, you shouldn't have to tap dance around and say things like, it's just obvious. Obviously, it's not obvious, or we wouldn't be having this discussion. So if you have proof of creationism, and by the way, you'd be the first, please tell us.
Well, and disproof of evolution doesn't really count.
Well, the proof, like I said, would come from looking at the fossil records, right? What
no.
Well, wait, how does the fossil record prove creation?
How was life formed, and what was the beginning of life on the planet as we know it, okay? And then how did that life become what we know it today? I'm talking trees, birds, animals, and people.
What's his theory?
Okay.
Right? Okay.
What's your theory?
So we can all agree that we're trying to determine whether or not that life was either created or whether it just accidentally happened.
No. Accidentally.
The Big Bang Theory.
Hang on.
Okay.
Accidentally, please.
Okay.
Accidentally happened is not an accurate characterization of evolutionary theory.
Of the Big Bang. That's not an accurate.
Big Bang isn't in the fossil record.
He's
You're
talking about
the
abiogenesis, though, now. I think.
Yeah, you've switched from evolution to abiogenesis.
Well, first we had to start with the Big Bang, right? Because that's.
Well, now he's back. Another theory. He's taking on 3.
I heard you talking once before in the show that you agreed in the Big Bang Theory.
I think it is the best scientific explanation that we currently have for the origin of the universe, yes.
Okay, so why did you just kind of try to bash me for using the term Big Bang Theory?
Because you said you had proof of creation, and you talked about the fossil record, and then you jumped from evolution and the fossil record to abiogenesis, which is something completely different, and then leapt immediately to the Big Bang, the origins of the universe.
Right.
You're changing what you're talking about, and you have yet to present anything that's evidence of creation.
Okay,
so
well,
pick what you're going to prove. Pick what you're going to prove, and provide the explanation.
Okay, so my proof that I would offer you to look, to consider, is the fact that evolution is obviously, and I'll use that word again, not a valid explanation as to how life has adapted and became what we know it today.
Okay, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say evolution then is completely false and it doesn't work. Okay, go on, prove creationism.
Okay, so since we'll do, all right, based on that, the Bible says that man was created, and it was 2 people, Adam and Eve.
Why? How is that relevant?
Because the Bible says it, so we'll go from there.
Well, wait a minute. I agree with you. The Bible says that.
So the Bible says that, and then for some coincidental reason, okay, the evolution process that is also out there. Those are the two main things. We got creation, evolution. Okay, that also, for some reason, has to include the fact that things evolved from one specific area on the planet.
Well, wait a minute, but you don't accept evolution.
Right, but
you just said evolution was wrong,
and that's why the evolution theory is so ridiculous.
Okay, but we've already agreed
that it proves creation is because.
Hang on.
He's about to say it.
That it proves creation because evolution you guys can't say that things evolved simultaneously throughout the world. See, so if it did, okay, then those apes in South America and the apes in Africa and the apes that are spread out throughout the world, okay, would have all evolved into people.
Okay, but wait a minute.
But you guys don't like that. You say, oh, no, only a certain group of apes.
Please, just hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
You have no understanding of evolutionary theory at all.
But it doesn't matter.
But the point Tracy was trying to get you to, and I'll just let you do this. We went ahead and said, for the sake of argument, we'll agree evolution is wrong. I don't think that's true. Evolution is a fact, by the way, but the evolution explanation is origins, that theory. We'll go ahead and say it's completely wrong. How does that make creationism true?
Right. Well, we're asking you to prove creationism. We'll go ahead and accept, for the sake of argument, evolution is totally wrong. You tell us what's your proof of creationism.
Okay, my proof of creation is pretty simple. There's people and there's monkeys, and they're totally different. That proves it.
Bye.
Okay, people, there's the fundamentalist argument for creationism.
Proof of
there's
creation.
There's people and there's monkeys.
There's people and there's monkeys.
Okay. That's really good.